When you're dating after 60, you don't sit there asking meaningless questions like, "What's your favorite movie?" or "Do you like dogs or cats?" At this stage of life, you need wisdom and strategic thinking to ask the right questions that save both of you precious time. Why? Because you won't get another chance to say yes to the wrong person. This might be your last opportunity for remarriage, your final chance at finding that life partner. And welcome back to Journey After 60. Today, I'll share 4 powerful questions you should ask a man in the early stages of dating, questions that will uncover who he really is, without pressure, without games, and without wasting months of your life on someone who isn't ready for what you deserve. These aren't interrogation tactics. They're gentle, wise questions that open his heart and reveal his soul. When you ask the right questions to ask a man when dating, you're not just making conversation, you're protecting your heart and finding your match. Before we jump into today's topic, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content on understanding people and creating better relationships after 60, with others and with yourself. Let's start with a question that's warm, disarming, and tells you more than any resume ever could. Number 1. What brings you the most joy right now? You know, there's an old saying that goes, "Joy is not in things, it's in us." When you ask a man what brings him the most joy right now, you're not asking about his hobbies, you're asking about his heart. This is one of the most revealing questions to ask on a date because it shows you where his energy flows. Does he light up when talking about his grandchildren? Does he speak passionately about a creative project? Or does he struggle to find an answer, maybe defaulting to work or material things? A man who can articulate what brings him joy is a man who's connected to his emotions and knows how to find fulfillment in life. This is crucial in the early stages of dating because you want someone who brings their own happiness to the relationship, not someone looking for you to fill a void. Elle's an old friend of mine, 61, newly single and bravely exploring the dating world again. We've had hours of coffee chats about love, heartbreak, and everything in between. She felt overwhelmed by all the dating advice she found online, most of it confusing and not really made for someone in her stage of life. On her first coffee date with Robert, instead of falling into typical small talk, she asked him one thoughtful question. His face transformed as he talked about teaching his grandson to fish and the volunteer work he did at the local animal shelter. She could see his genuine passion. Compare that to her second date with Michael, who seemed confused by the question and eventually said, "I guess making money?" The contrast was striking. Robert revealed depth and purpose. Michael showed he was still searching for meaning in external things. When you ask what brings a man joy, you're also learning about his values. Does he find happiness in relationships, creativity, service to others, or personal growth? These are the building blocks of a meaningful partnership. You want someone whose joy aligns with your own values and who can contribute positive energy to your shared life. This question works because it's positive and inviting. You're not putting him on the spot about past failures or future commitments. You're asking him to share the best parts of his current experience. Most people love talking about what makes them happy, and his response will tell you everything you need to know about his emotional maturity and life satisfaction. Remember, you're not just looking for any man, you're looking for the right man. Someone who can answer this question with genuine enthusiasm is someone who's likely to bring that same enthusiasm to a relationship with you. But joy alone doesn't tell you about character. That's why the next question matters even more. Number 2. What's a challenge you've overcome that shaped you? Here's what I've learned in my years of relationship coaching. Strength isn't in never falling. It's in what you learn when you rise again. When you ask a man about a challenge he's overcome that shaped him, you're diving deep into his character. This is one of the most important questions you should ask a man because his answer reveals his resilience, emotional maturity, and capacity for growth. Pay attention not just to what challenge he shares, but how he tells the story. Does he take responsibility for his part? Does he speak with bitterness or with wisdom? Can he articulate what he learned from the experience? These details matter tremendously when you're evaluating someone as a potential partner. An emotionally mature man will share a genuine struggle, perhaps the loss of a job that led him to discover a new career path, a health scare that changed his priorities, or even the end of his marriage that taught him about communication and compromise. He'll speak about these experiences with a sense of growth and understanding. Be cautious of men who can't think of any significant challenges, or worse, who blame everyone else for their difficulties. This might indicate someone who lacks self-awareness or refuses to take responsibility for their own growth. This question works beautifully because it invites vulnerability without being invasive. You're not asking him to bare his soul on the first date, but you are asking him to show you his depth. The best relationships are built between two people who have both experienced life's ups and downs and learned from them. When you're dating after 50 or 60, you've likely faced your own significant challenges. You want a partner who can match your wisdom and resilience, not someone who crumbles at the first sign of difficulty. Listen for emotional intelligence in his response. Does he acknowledge the emotions he felt during the challenge? Can he see how the experience changed him for the better? These are signs of a man who's done the inner work necessary for a healthy relationship. I want you to pause here and think about your own answer to this question. What challenge have you overcome that shaped you? How would you tell that story? Understanding your own journey helps you recognize depth in others. Share in the comments below. What's one lesson you learned from overcoming a difficult time in your life? Your wisdom might be exactly what another woman needs to hear as she navigates her own challenges or considers new relationships. And when you know his resilience, the next question reveals his vision. Number 3. What are you looking forward to in the next few years? As Stephen Covey wisely said, begin with the end in mind. When you ask a man what he's looking forward to in the next few years, you're not just asking about plans. You're asking if he's living intentionally and whether his vision includes someone like you. This is one of the most practical questions to ask while dating because it reveals so much about compatibility. You're not asking for a detailed 5-year plan. You're asking about his hopes, dreams, and general direction in life. A man with emotional depth will share genuine aspirations. Maybe he's looking forward to traveling to places he's always wanted to see, spending more quality time with family, pursuing a passion project he's been putting off, or even finding meaningful love. These answers show he's actively engaged with his future. I first met Julia during a small group session for women navigating dating after 60. At 65, she was still unsure if modern dating was for her, but curious enough to give it a try. When she asked this question to David, he talked about wanting to explore national parks, learn photography, and maybe find someone special to share adventures with. His eyes lit up as he spoke about possibilities. Compare that to her date with Tom the following week. When she asked the same question, he shrugged and said, "I don't know, just take things as they come, I guess." While flexibility can be good, his complete lack of forward thinking concerned her. David's response showed he was actively creating a life he was excited about, the kind of life Julia could imagine being part of. Tom's response suggested someone who was just drifting, waiting for life to happen to him. This question is particularly important for women dating after 50 because you're likely entering your most vibrant decades. You want a partner who shares your enthusiasm for what's ahead, not someone who's just marking time. Pay attention to whether his vision includes room for a partner. You don't need him to mention you specifically, you've just met, but listen for openness to sharing experiences, growing together, or building something meaningful with someone special. Also notice the energy in his voice when he talks about the future. Does he sound excited, hopeful, engaged, or does he seem resigned, bored, or anxious? These emotional cues tell you about his overall outlook on life. The wisdom that comes with age teaches us that while we can't control everything that happens, we can choose our attitude toward the future. You want a partner who chooses hope and possibility, just as you do. But there's one last question, the one that uncovers his heart more than any other. Number 4. What does love mean to you? This might be the most revealing question you could ever ask a man in the early stages of dating. When you ask what love means to him, you're not just making conversation. You're uncovering his deepest beliefs about relationships, intimacy, and commitment. The beautiful thing about this question is that there's no wrong answer, but his response will tell you everything about whether you're compatible. Some men will talk about love as partnership and mutual support. Others might describe it as passion and romance. Still others might focus on commitment and building a life together. What you're listening for is depth and authenticity. A man who's ready for real love will have given this question serious thought. He might share lessons learned from previous relationships, insights gained through life experience, or hopes for what love could be in this stage of life. Be aware of red flags in his response. If he seems uncomfortable with the question, changes the subject, or gives a very surface-level answer about physical attraction, he might not be ready for the emotional intimacy you're seeking. As the poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Love consists of this, two solitudes that meet, protect, and greet each other." When a man understands that love is about two complete individuals choosing to share their lives, he's showing you he's ready for mature love. Listen for emotional vocabulary. Can he articulate feelings? Does he understand that love involves vulnerability, growth, and sometimes difficult conversations? These are signs of someone who's done the emotional work necessary for a lasting relationship. At our age, we've learned that love isn't just about butterflies and romance, though those feelings are wonderful. Real love is about choosing each other daily, supporting each other's dreams, and creating something beautiful together. The right man for you will understand this. His definition of love will resonate with your own values and experiences. You'll hear wisdom in his words, hope in his voice, and openness in his heart. This question works because it cuts through all the surface-level dating chatter and gets to the heart of what you're both really seeking. If you're going to invest your time and energy in getting to know someone, shouldn't you understand what love means to them? Save this video and share it with your friends who are also navigating dating after 50. These questions could save them months of confusion and heartache. Because when you ask wisely, you don't just get answers, you save your heart. By this point, I wonder, do you still remember the 4 key questions to ask on a first date? If not, no worries. Let me go over them again. What brings you the most joy right now? What's a challenge you've overcome that helped shape who you are today? What are you looking forward to in the next few years? And finally, what does love mean to you? These questions gently open the door to meaningful conversation and help you see the kind of man he truly is beyond the surface. Remember, these aren't test questions with right or wrong answers. They're conversation starters that invite depth, vulnerability, and authentic connection. A man may impress you with his looks or charm, but his answers to the right questions will show you who he really is. You've lived too much and learned too much to settle for surface-level connections. You deserve a partner who can match your emotional depth, share your enthusiasm for life's possibilities, and understand that real love is built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine compatibility. The right questions save you time, protect your heart, and help you find the love you deserve. Now, I'd love to hear your story. Have you used any of these questions in your dating experience? Are you currently navigating the world of relationships after 60? Maybe you're just beginning to think about opening your heart again. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what another woman needs to gain confidence in her own dating journey. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more relationship advice and life wisdom for your most fulfilling decades. Check the description for additional resources that will support your journey toward finding meaningful love after 60. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.